Hi, I'm Colleen Shields. Welcome to this segment of the Momtastics.
I'm Jenny Grimm. Colleen, one thing that terrifies me about our community pool is from the time the cover comes off in May till it goes back on in September is that something is going to happen to our kids while they're swimming.
It's really scary, isn't it? Drowning in children under 4 is actually the leading cause of death in the United States.
In this segment, we're going to introduce you to a program called Infant Swim Rescue that has a 100% success rate in teaching children from 6 months to 6 years the survival skills they need to keep them safe if they fall into the water.
Let's get your jacket and your shoes on. Get it up there, honey. Come on. You got it.
We at ISR focus on survival. So we teach them if they fall in the water, they're fully clothed, a land diaper, shoes, socks, everything. They know what to do if they hit the water.
I heard my mom screaming, "No, no, no." And I took off running, and when I took off running, our back patio door was open. So I took off running, and when I got to the edge of the pool, he was looking up at me with his mouth wide open, and his eyes just had the look of fear in them. So I grabbed him as fast as I could and pulled him up out of the water. But his older brothers didn't even know that he ever even jumped into the pool.
Thankfully for Anne Marie, her story had a happy ending. Unfortunately, it doesn't always end this well.
I am a mother who has experienced the loss of a child. I know the pain and I know the grief. And for me, drowning is a preventable tragedy. And my mission is not one more child drowns. I want to help however I can, and this is how I can help.
Just float like a starfish. Just float, no kicking.
We have floaters and we have swim students. The ages 6 months to 12 months, they learn just to hold their breath underwater, roll under their backs, and float till rescue comes. The older children from 12 months to 6-year-olds, they learn to hold their breath underwater, they learn to swim short distances, then roll onto their back to float and rest, then they learn to flip back over, swim a little bit further until they can find an exit.
Yeah, good girl.
There's no injuries, no drownings that of any children that have completed the course, 100%.
How do you get them to the point that they're actually able to survive in this situation?
Well, we start with teaching them small increments of the behavior that we're trying to achieve. And by the end of the course, the last week, we actually are testing them out by completely clothing them. We will put a wet towel over their face to simulate them being under something. They have to take the towel off. They have to float in all of that weight for 3 minutes. See, we don't throw them in the pool, to teach them anything. We actually try to simulate them maybe falling face in or, falling backward into the pool or, disorienting them in the water or submerging them. I can only submerge them so much, but 3 to 4 feet to make sure that they can pop up.
This doesn't happen overnight, so how do you do this?
It takes 4 to 6 weeks for the average student to complete the course.
And how often is it?
It's 5 days a week for 10 minutes a day.
And slowly but surely you're going through these different drills. And you start with them dressed how?
Just in a swim diaper, nothing else. And then as the weeks go on, we start to add a shirt or add some socks, start to weigh them down a little bit. By the end, they're in their winter jackets, sweatshirts, preferably hooded sweatshirts, pants, a full diaper, which probably weighs at least 2 pounds soaking wet, shoes, socks.
So in the beginning, it's got to be a little traumatic for mommy, baby, and
very traumatic. Yeah. Moms typically do not like to see their children crying, and they all cry. They don't want to be in the water with me. They're experiencing something that they're not used to. They don't know what's expected of them, and they're upset. Yeah. By the second week, it starts to calm down. The third week, you see the light bulb go off. They're really starting to enjoy it. By the 6th week, I'm fighting to get them out of the pool.
We saw a lot of that today. They just wanted to get back in the pool. They were really mad, 2 years old, just like they wanted to swim.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't not do it. I mean, it's an absolute must. I mean, not just having a pool, but witnessing the children survive. You know, they're put in survival mode, and I just feel like I'd have so much more peace of mind to have my children know how to survive in the water.
I just want to thank you so much for having us. I had no idea how I would feel after seeing the program, and I'm sure I would be happy, but I'm blown away. And both Jenny and I are so motivated by what we saw today that we're going to be putting our children into this program with you.
Wonderful. I can't wait to see them.
I think it's a great mission that you have, and we'll do everything that we can to support you. And I just want to say great job for doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
While ISR is very, very important for infants and children to teach them survival, there's a lot of children out there that have got that down pat. And Jenny is actually going to show us what we can do in terms of stroke lessons to help our children grow and learn to be great swimmers.
Hi, I'm Jenny Grimm with the Momtastics. We're here today with USA swim coach Carrie Tremelling, who's going to talk to us about how to make great swimmers out of our kids. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for being here.
Now, you are a stroke instructor.
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means I teach children any age from 3 years up how to swim strokes. We start with survival strokes, which are the breaststroke and the freestyle, and then we move into more competitive strokes as they get stronger. Why eventually, if you graduate through my program, you'll be swimming competitive freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, and butterfly.
Is there a particular age that they graduate at, or is it based on skills?
It's based on their skill level.
And you said that you start at 3 years old. And how long does a lesson last for a typical 3-year-old?
A typical 3-year-old spends 15 minutes in the pool, and that's about the attention span of a 3-year-old that we have, even though we're doing many different activities. About 15 minutes is the max. And then once we move on, we slowly add time as their attention goes. It's personalized for each student, though.
And how often should they be having a swim lesson?
The best would be every day of the week, but 3 times a week will keep their skills up.
Now, say I just want to feel really confident that my children are safe in the water. We haven't decided yet if they want to join the swim team, but I just want to know that they're safe. How long would that take?
It depends completely on the child's ability and skill level, because each child is very special and unique. But most of the time it can be 6 lessons or 12 lessons.
What do you do if you have a child who's just white knuckling it and will not let go of the side of the pool?
We work slowly. I try to introduce, I'm a kindergarten teacher, so I have a lot of techniques under my belt that I try to get the kids to laugh and to play, like we call freestyle stroke, going to get pizza, and we do making big pretty hearts, and we try to take their mind off of the fact that they're in the water and instead think about we're having a good time.
So, Carrie, say my child takes to swimming like a fish to water, and I'm interested in getting them involved in some competitive swimming. What's the best way for me to go forward?
After your child really takes off in swimming, I would suggest that you would start maybe with Summer Swim League. That's a good thing that a lot of communities have, and it's a gradual step into the swimming world. Swimming world is very competitive, and at a young age, that's a lot to handle, but summer swimming is normally about 6 weeks long, and it's a good fresh start. And then if you really like that, there's Navy has a swim program, and there's a local swim team, ASC, who swims all year round.
We have a pool in our community, and as the mother of 3 small children, I'm always terrified to take them to the pool by myself. I feel like it's just such a big responsibility and overwhelming. I tend to rely on crutches like noodles and floaties. What's your opinion about that? Is it helping them? Is it hampering them?
It doesn't hamper any of the stroke problem, but I like to say we all like to get back to the basics, that if the child is ever to fall in the water or doesn't have that kickboard or that noodle or that floaty, what would they do? So we start swim lessons with the basics, that you don't need any of those things, because you don't want them to ever feel like, oh, I can swim, and really they can't. You want to go in with they know how to swim, and then later introduce the kickboards and the fun things that go with swimming after you've already learned how to swim.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for coming.
These have been some great tips. For more information, please visit our website, themomtastics.com.